Hey, Leslie Schmidt. I got a urine sample that I'm going to analyze today. I'm going to do a full urinalysis. This is a canine urine sample. And I washed my hands before I put gloves on. I'm just going to wear gloves the whole time, just keep myself clean. I'm going to start off by spinning down 10 mils of sample, just to kind of expedite the process. So I'm using a clean pipette and a clean tube. And I've got the urine sample that I collected. There are milliliter markers on here so I can tell how much I'm pulling up.
But it's only
It's approximately 10 mLs.
And what's the pack stuff? 45 and 7.
So I'm going to go ahead and put this into the centrifuge and let it spin. Now I've got my counterbalance. I'm just going to fill it with water to equal the depth when I spin them. I come over here to the centrifuge. I'm going to set it for 5 minutes. We don't want to spin it for any longer than 5 minutes because we don't want to damage any crystals. If there are any in there, it can cause them to shatter. And that started, so we'll go ahead and complete the rest of the urinalysis. I'm going to start by stamping the animal's chart with our stamp for urinalysis results.
Okay, so what you really pay attention to though is the UV creatinine.
So we're going to fill in the blanks on here. I'm going to write in the method of collection as free catch.
And it's dropped.
I'm going to write my name down here as the technician. It's Leslie. We're going to start off by performing our strip test here. It's a Chem Strip 9. So I'm going to go back into my urine here. I'm going to use a clean pipette. I'm not going to reuse the same one. I'm going to come over to the sink. I'm going to put a drop of urine on each of these squares, and I'm going to be careful not to actually just run down it. I'm going to individually drop urine on each square. And I read this after 1 minute. So I'm going to let it sit. And while that sits, I'm going to go ahead and obtain the urine specific gravity with a refractometer. So I'm going to put a drop of urine on there. Put this back in. I'm going to read this. The specific gravity is close to 1040. That's good. It's nice and concentrated. It's 1035. I'm going to clean this off with a chem wipe. Alright, so I'm going to start reading my analysis results. I'm just going to blot the excess urine off of here. I forgot I've got to get this back out to read my results. Okay, with this type of a bottle and strips, you just basically place the strip back on the bottle to read your results and line up each box as you go. So the pH of this urine is going to be 6. And here, the protein, quite a lot of protein in there, 3+. It's negative for glucose, negative for ketones and urobilinogen, negative for bilirubin, and there is no blood in the sample. Okay. I'm going to throw this away. Wipe this up. I'm just going to record some other things about the appearance of the urine, such as the color. It is a golden yellow. And there is a little bit of turbidity. It's a little cloudy. Specific gravity, we're going to write down that it was 1035. There were no leukocytes or no nitrites on that. I also forgot to mention that. What we're going to do now is I'm going to perform the foam test. I'm going to shake it pretty vigorously and note the color of the foam on top of the urine sample. It appears to be clear, or even like a little bit of yellow hue, and that would be normal. I'm just going to note that. Okay, the next part of your analysis is I'm going to actually note the odor of the urine. It has a little bit of a kind of a bacterial smell. It's kind of like an E. coli smell, just in a sense. Okay, so I'm just going to go back over my results here to make sure, my instructions to make sure we've done everything while we've got a minute while the urine's spinning down.
Okay. Alright. So everything was
So all we're waiting for now is the urine to stop spinning in the centrifuge. I'm going to check that. So the next part of the urinalysis is where I'm actually going to look at the sediment. So I've got a clean slide, and I'm going to get a clean cover slip. And our instructions where we can check this stained or unstained, I'll go ahead and check an unstained sample. So I'm going to get another pipette. So whenever we start off looking at the urine on the microscope, I'm just going to make sure everything's clean. So I'm going to clean off the objectives really quickly.
Probably Dr. House. Let me show you how to look at that. You click on this little thing, the 1 and the 2. That shows us the schedule. And
It's been 5 minutes now, so I'm going to go ahead and stop the centrifuge. I think the timer's stuck. So I removed my sample from the centrifuge. I'm just going to observe the appearance. I'm looking for any kind of floating material in the sample, which I do see some kind of floating cells. I do also see what appears to be a button, something sticking to the bottom of the tube. So there might be some bacteria present in here or some type of a sediment, and that's what we're checking for. So I'm just going to put my counterbalance back. What we're going to do at this point is we're going to pour off as much of the sample as we can, but trying to save the sediment in there. Which I did. There's a large button and a flake of something in there. So here's the part we're going to go ahead and take in and put it onto my slide. I'm going to go to the bottom of the tube and try to suck up just a little bit of material. Trying to actually just absorb the sediment. I'm going to put this back in here and set it over here. We're going to put our clean cover slip on. I'm going to take it to the microscope and start off at 10x. Just kind of focus. We're going to actually read for sediment on 40. So we're going to start at 10. And I do see some stuff in here already. So I'm going to go ahead and go up to 40. And get a better idea of what we're looking at. I'm going to turn down my light source. It's too bright. There's quite a lot of stuff in here. I am seeing a lot of cast material, like granular cast material. I can see some fat droplets in here. I would say this is suspicious for bacteria. There's quite a lot going on the slide. There may be even some white cells on here. This would be a sample that I might have a doctor review because of the fact that there's so much on the sediment, so much to see. But right now my results would be a tremendous amount of casts. And I do see some white cells. And the granular casts. I don't see any evidence of any crystals. I don't see any red blood cells. Actually, correction, I do see a red blood cell. I did find some. So this is a very interesting urinalysis slide. Okay, so I'm going to submit these results to a doctor and let them check behind me since there's so much on this for just a normal routine analysis that I chose to perform. But that's my urinalysis.